Disco Wrestling's living legend, and you're watching Monte and the Pharaoh.
The best thing, if you're injured, is to grow up and be a man. Come on.
All right, welcome back to another episode of Monte and the Pharaoh, the special Saturday edition. We told everybody we'd be back in 10 minutes, and that was quite the interview with Billy Jack Haynes, huh, there, Pharaoh?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I'm afraid. I don't know if I'll ever watch wrestling the same way again. I don't know anymore.
I feel a little dirty. I'm
I'm afraid to put it on later.
But now across from us is yet another pro wrestling WWE, ECW, WCW superstar, Too Cold Scorpio. Thank you for joining us, sir.
Thank you. Woody woo! Good to be in the house.
Certainly is.
Well, Pharaoh, how about it, buddy?
All right, I will if I could see. Ladies and gentlemen, our esteemed guest, if I could break down a little bit of his background for you. Born Charles Bernard Skaggs on October 25th, 1965 in Denver, Colorado, now residing in Celebration, Florida. Build height, 5'11", weight 229, build from Denver, Colorado. Went by several ring names, Flash Funk. I don't know if, to me, this man is Too Cold Scorpio. But let's go on to the resume a little bit here. He is a former ECW Tag Team Title Champion with the Sandman, a four-time ECW Television Champion, WC Tag Team Title Champion with Mr. Bagwell. Was this Marcus Alexander Bagwell?
Buff the stuff.
Or was this Buff the Stuff? Either way, it's Bagwell. Also over in Japan, Pro Wrestling Noah, which I do still watch sometimes when I can get the YouTube stuff. He was the former GHC Tag Champ with no less than Vader, and then also another time with Doug Williams. GHC Open Weight Hardcore Champ. PWI ranked him 201 of the top 500 PWI years, so he made the big list. Wrestling Observer Best Wrestling Maneuver for the 450 Splash back in 92. Way ahead, by the way, of his time. And Most Underrated Wrestler from also the Wrestling Observer. There's Mr. Meltzer again, I believe. Most Underrated Wrestler, 1997. Ladies and gentlemen, being a huge ECW fan, this is Too Cold Scorpio.
All right. This is awesome, man. Unbelievable. Wow.
Yeah.
How was that introduction, man?
That was good.
That was
Yeah?
Shit. You did good, man.
Yeah, not bad for a nervous wreck.
Quite the career.
Oh, my God. Fantastic career. You want to start it off, Mike, or would you like me to begin?
I'll open it up.
All right.
Why pro wrestling, my friend?
Why pro wrestling? Simple fact is when I was in school, 84, 83, is when they stopped trying out for the NFL as a free agent. I always thought I was going to be a football player, probably, try free agent. Figure, hey, didn't necessarily have to go to school, got the skills, got the qualifications pretty fast. I believe I can hold my own. Then they turned around and was like, hey, you can't try out no more and stuff. If you ain't went to college, if you ain't got recruited, you're pretty much out. Next best thing was professional wrestling.
And who gets you started in professional wrestling?
Believe it or not, man, I was living in the complex, man, out in Denver, man, and a buddy of mine, Michael Starr. Guy about $1.25, soaking wet. I'm gonna give him $1.85 with a brick in his pocket.
Yeah, there you go.
But anyways, and stuff, man, he was a professional wrestler, calling himself a professional wrestler. And I kept telling myself, man, you ain't no damn wrestler. He's like, yeah, I'm a wrestler.
What was his ring name? Big Ass McGee?
No, that's not Big Ass McGee.
I had to take it. I liked it. Big Ass McGee. If he's 125, Big Ass McGee. There you go. Okay, no. And he talked you into it?
Yeah, well, Mike Starr, he kept saying he was a wrestler. Well, winning days, I sat around and got high enough and shit. I said, well, let me go and see what you're doing in the backyard. and stuff. So
Okay.
went down there and they got a ring set up in the backyard and guys out there and Spike and the guys and they all out there wrestling in the ring, bouncing around. I'm like, man, that looks pretty cool. So can I get in there? Got up in the ring and started bouncing around. I was like, man, this feels like a trampoline. And cut a back flip, cut a front flips. I was like, man, this is nice.
I could do
think
this.
I want to be a wrestler.
I can do this.
Yeah, and that was all she wrote.
Wow.
Really?
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
I have read that you basically trained yourself
Yes.
for the most part, which is how does one train themselves? I have to.
Well, basically, I was a big fan of just watching wrestling in general.
Sure.
And then after my buddy told me that he was been a professional wrestler, and we started training and started working out, I went back to old watching TV. Pretty much anything that I can see on TV, I pretty much can do.
And what were you
Kinda-
exposed to, by the way? What television programs?
At that given point in time, I was more exposed to the AWA
Okay.
and World Class.
Okay.
You know, so on the independent circuit that I had started with, they used to bring in the Von Erichs and Playboy Buddy Rhodes,
There he is again.
Jumping Jim
He's everywhere.
Brunzell and Greg Gagne. Used to bring in some of the guys like that. So I had an opportunity to watch those guys growing up, and then to get in the ring and watch them work. And then I had the South African Colonel of the Bears on one of the shows, watch my match, and he just kind of gave me some input on keep doing what I was doing, and hey, it blew
And
up
there
and
it
went
is.
from there.
At some point now, obviously, at this point, you know, you've trained yourself. You're starting to get very comfortable. You come across Vader, and you wind up in New Japan at a training dojo, right?
Basically, what happened was Vader was just coming back from being the Triple Crown champion. I want to say the first time over in New Japan. He also was the champion down in Germany with Otto Wanz. So he had came back and just happened to be in town, got booked on the show with Jerry Blackwell, myself, and then I was working with a young kid out there, Airborne Ranger, great hand back in the day, out of, I want to say out of Louisiana, down that way. And we had a great match, and Vader just happened to see it, spotted me, seen what I can do. Says, man, I think you'd be great for going over in Japan. I was like, what? Oh, man, I would
And
love
boom,
to go to
you're over
Japan.
there.
You know, he said he talked about it for about 6 months, 7 months, kept talking about it. I was seeing him. He took my number. Yeah, I'm going to get a guy. You got any tape? You got
Now,
any
how long are you
footage?
working as a wrestler at this point?
At this point in time, I've only been working probably less than a year.
Holy shit, that's like.
Well, you hit
wow.
lotto, man, just
Right.
on luck alone. with
I
Vader.
did.
You
It's
did.
that whole fact of riding this whole coattail. You know, everywhere I've ever been, everything I've ever done is because I've been riding on this coattail pretty much. He got me over in Japan. From there, he introduced me to
It's a hell of a
Nicholson.
coattail.
You know
That's
what
a
I
smart-
mean? So,
that's a
yeah,
smart
and
coattail
it's
to
that
ride.
thing about, you know, Vader, you know, like, Vader like you, give you the shirt off your back. If you didn't, you had a hard time dealing with him. You know, thank God he liked me, or he seen something in me as far as, you know, this kid's going to make money, you know, whatever it might be. But if it wasn't for him, man, I probably never would have left Colorado to begin with.
Did you remain tight with him through the years, and your thoughts on when he passed?
Very sad. I'm one of those type of guys that at my own parents' funeral, my mom or dad, I'm not gonna share too much a tear. I might shed a tear, I might not, and give a take. You know, unfortunately, when I lost Vader, you know, I had to shed a tear and stuff. You know what I mean, man? It was really sad to lose one of my kids' godfather, you know, to my kids as well as a best friend.
Yeah.
You know, like I say, you know, everything that I have, everything I've done, I owe it to him.
Goes through Vader.
You know,
Yeah.
so-
How did you come up with the name Too Cold Scorpio?
That's funny. I was going by the name Scorpio already, and I happened to have a show in Mile High, and I was working in Mile High, Denver, Colorado. I invited my cousins to one of the shows. This was just shortly after my best friend Bill and Kat, we had built the ring in the backyard. And so that whole aspect of me learning how to do the 450 and stuff came out of a mistake from my entrance, which kind of prevailed into the 450. And so kind of all of that kind of all happened all around the same time that I had got spotted by Vader and stuff, you know, so which was quite amazing.
Wow.
How about when we get to WCW and you do win tag gold with Bagwell? What were your thoughts on the WC promotion back in the early 90s?
You know, for me, this was all 3 steps ahead of what I've already done. I was so used to the Japanese strong style of wrestling. I trained in the dojo. You didn't have to worry about promos. You didn't have to. It was go to the ring. You know, if you had music, great. If you didn't, great. You know, it was all about the heart. If you had the heart and you can go out there, win, lose, draw. how does the people perceive you? And I kind of, learned that aspect over there where give them 110%, win, lose, or draw. The fans will show you the appreciation, where here in the States, you basically got to get over for the fans to get behind you.
So what was a payday for a rookie like yourself in Japan?
Starting at that given point in time for me to go to Japan, they was paying me $500 a week to train in Japan. And then once I went through the dojo and I got on my first tour, it started out as my very first tour was like $2,500 out the door, $3,500 out the door, my very first tour. They'd never seen me, no experience, seen a videotape. Vader talked highly of me, $35 right out the door, boom.
Wow.
Pretty much that was the standard for young guys' first time going to Japan. Anywhere between 25 and 35 was almost
So
guaranteed.
then what does WCW offer you to lure you out of Japan? Because, $3,500, it's a week, right? You're saying a week, yeah.
At that given point in time, I was on that 3 to 5 pay scale with New Japan, but at the same time, I still lived in the States. So with Vader getting me into WCW and them being partners, I still was able to go to Japan and make my Japan money.
That's right, because they had that relationship, right? They were working together. That's
so
right.
I got to make my Japan money separately than what my contract or whatever my money was with WCW at the time.
Nice. Developing moves like the 450, of course, you're a trendsetter. What do you think about today's style when you see somebody like Ricochet?
You got to look at a kid like that, and I said, man, these kids can do my moves. They flip-flop, they fly, they throw a little extra twist, they throw a little extra that in there. But look, I was 265.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Right. Yeah.
You're $1.25, maybe 200. You better be able to do that shit.
Only
okay, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
My thing is don't forget to give credit where you stole it from. That's all I ask.
Well, the thing too is like when you threw your finisher, it was a finisher.
It was a finisher. It wasn't a high spot. It was a finisher.
I don't know if you're aware, but
Oh,
Marty Jannetty was in a couple of weeks ago. We actually, me and him got into a little bit of a fist fight.
Oh, a little bit.
I actually tried to do a flip over him, but he didn't stay there and wait.
He wait for you to
He didn't wait for me to hit.
He was going to kick off the wall and hit him with a flying RKO, but he didn't wait.
It just didn't work.
He was supposed to
Just
stand
didn't
there and
work
wait.
out.
It wasn't very realistic at all. At all. I told you it was a terrible game plan.
Yeah, so
Anyway.
I totally agree. I mean, it's one of the arguments we have here. Today's wrestler, it's like, look, I understand, like Finn Balor, these guys, they're 100-something pounds. They're not going to beat up anybody, and it's not even realistic. You're a big dude. When you hit your moves, you get hit by a 260-pound guy.
But you got to figure, though, I also got brokered in by the old era.
Yeah.
Let's rough this kid up.
Right.
Let's teach him how we do things.
Was anybody particularly hard on you? Anybody particularly hard on your
Vader.
Vader?
How stiff was Vader?
Put it like this.
Ow.
Vader as a best friend hit me so damn hard he knocked a tooth out of my mouth.
Holy shit.
Turned around, gave me a kiss, and went and had a beer afterwards.
Nice.
What the hell?
Hey, listen, at least it wasn't your eyeball.
Exactly. I didn't have to push it back in myself or nothing. So it was good.
Sample with the tendon, but that's a whole nother. That's a different story. Oh my
Super glue,
God.
super glue.
Oh man,
That's pretty good.
As I said to you outside of the parking lot, ECW is my absolutely favorite. Even back in the day when they were having the wars, as you know, ECW was my guys. I was like, I love this company. You arrive at ECW, and the thing that I remember the most about your career, and I don't know if you realized it at the time as it's happening, it's like this is the moment where everyone is going to talk about you, whether you want to be involved or not. It's the NWA situation with Shane Douglas and Shane turns and takes the NWA title after defeating Scorpio in the final and throws it in the trash. Did you know this was going to happen? Did you know how big this moment was going to be?
I did not know how big the moment was going to be. And just like everything else, in the wrestling business, there are certain things that happen on certain shows that's kayfabe away from the boys. Because you still got them boys that like to talk to the kayfabe sheets or give the scoop out or give the play away before it really happens. Okay. So therefore, for me, I was in the cold when it happened. So to me, it was all like,
your head
I'm like, what? I'm thinking, I'll take the belt. I'll take the belt. I'll be the champ. Hell, give it to me. Shit,
Give me the belt.
What are your thoughts on Shane Douglas?
My thoughts on Shane Douglas is that, I've seen him from WCW. I've seen him around. I really truly believe that he was one of those business type talk guys. I seen him in WCW. I seen what's the name, punch him in the head in the locker room because he got blood. He want to have blood the hard way. I done seen Shane in ECW in different aspects. The thing about ECW is everybody, it wasn't so much as a clique, but you had like the New York boys, which was Shane, Taz, Dreamer, all those guys kind of hung together. So I really didn't really hang with Shane, but I can't say nothing bad about Shane because I wasn't in his group of people hanging around with him.
Circle, if I can,
you know, my circle was the posse. You know what I mean? The original posse. Todd, Woman, Sandman, Fonzie. You know, that was the original posse. That's how we rolled.
We just had Billy Jack on less than 35 minutes ago, whatever. He thinks that Vince murdered Woman, Benoit, right? We're talking about Nancy Benoit, yeah? And Chris Benoit's son. You have any thoughts on that?
My true thoughts on that is I truly believe with this business and the way that everything happens, Chris had his own problems as being a small guy in the big man's business.
Okay.
Not realizing he was a hell of a talent.
Oh my God, yeah.
Without anything extra to try to make him bigger or better than what he was. He was a hell of a worker. He had some of the best time. I had some of my best matches probably working with him. Me personally truly believe that it was more of a personal thing maybe, whether it was pills, drug related, steroids, rage, depression. I mean, you're making, $500,000. They tell you to move. You move your family from Canada to Calgary. You go to Atlanta. You start a whole new life. You leave your wife, you leave your kids, you start with somebody else new. You know what I'm saying? And then you come to find out that your son has the same disease as you have. He's going to be small. He's going to be a dwarf, and I don't want that to happen. So you start taking measures in your own hands, to medicine your kid to make his growth better, or giving him growth hormones, which is not made for a kid.
Actually giving his son growth
I truly
hormones.
believe that he was giving his kids growth and other stuff to help him with his growth.
Did you remain close to Nancy?
We was always close up until the point in time where she went back, right up to the point where she went back and they started that angle and they got together. Then that's when more or less the posse were, kind of like the boys on the road. If you see the boys, you're talking to them, you're hanging out with them, you're together with them all the time.
Yeah.
All right, you're going to WWF, I'm still over here and stuff.
Right.
We're going to talk to each other when we run into each other.
Right.
Unless you're a Booker T, a boogeyman, somebody that's a close friend, that I got your contact number. Hey man, call me for Christmas, call me for the holidays. How you doing? How the family's doing? The guys don't very seldom keep in touch like that, So me personally, I really truly believe it had a lot to do with depression. I believe that something could have happened with him giving medicine to his kid, caused his kid to have a problem, might have caused his kid to have the death. Nancy might have said something, steroid snap reaction. Now she's ended up dead. Now I come out of it and realize, oh shit, 3 days later, 4 days later, you're in the house still, and what do? Kill yourself?
Yep.
It's really hard that some of the stuff that some of the boys will go through. A lot of boys, you think he would never do that. Right. He would never do that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
To be honest,
Rebel. Rebel be the perfect one, perfect example of all the people. Prejudice, no prejudice or not. Of all the people, I never would have thought that he would have shot his wife and shot himself.
Sure.
But it happens in our business, unfortunately. Whether it's the peer pressure, the drugs.
Well, did you hit the gas?
My thing was I was real fortunate. I was blessed. I never really had to hit the gas. I did try a little bit. I done a little bit of steroids, some Dynaball back in the day. Mostly over in Japan. Been with Vader. Wanted me to be a bigger, stronger, better team. And it worked over there, you know what I mean? I needed a little extra edge sometime over there, but for me in general, I still believe in, steak, potatoes, mom's good cooking, working out, training, working hard, and smoking lots of weed, you know what I'm saying? So other than that,
there you go.
I believe you good, you know what I mean?
Wow.
Keep it all natural, keep it all natural. Yes, sir. Say your prayers and hit your bone hard. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You know what I mean? So
there you go. I wanted to get your thoughts on Paul Heyman. What do we have to say about the advocate for
my
Brock
thing
Lesnar?
about Paul Heyman is you still owe me money, Dan. I want my check.
There you go.
What does he
Pay
owe you?
me.
What does he owe you?
He still owe me back from
Out with it. Dollars and cents.
1996 something goddamn pay-per-view in Atlanta, Georgia.
serious?
I ain't never received and probably never will.
So now why does McMahon get all this shit, but no one ever calls out Heyman at all
Yeah,
for like
what's
not
going on
paying
here?
you guys?
I could call him out plenty of times. If I see him today, I will call him out again. But there's one
What
thing.
does he say to you?
You're-
Come on, Too Cold, don't leave me alone.
This connection
I'll write you a
is
check. I'll write you a check, and I'll be like, nah, that's all right. I'll pass.
You would-
I done had a few of them checks, and I don't need no Mile High shit. I already live in a Mile High city. Thank you, but no thank you. But
God.
what I would have to say about Paul, man, is you got to give it to him. Back in the day in ECW, what a lot of people don't realize is Paul was a mastermind on putting shows and stuff together.
Sure.
But they totally forget about the Godfather Todd Gordon, who was a big hand.
Commissioner Gordon.
And Commissioner
Yeah,
Gordon.
I don't forget Todd.
Todd is God.
Yeah,
was a big
Todd
hand
rules.
in putting that shit together in
Yeah.
ECW. A lot of people give credit to Paulie. I give a lot of great credit. I mean, without Paulie, I never would have learned how to do a great promo. Learning that a shoot promo is still the best promo.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, we
I
should
mean,
have more of
all of
those
that
nowadays.
I learned how to do promos because of ECW. Because like I say, coming from Japan, I never had to do any promos. WCW, it was all teleprompt. You
Was
know
it
what I
really?
mean? Yeah, it was all pretty much teleprompter. There's wasn't no real whole lot of shoot interviews. It was an interview. Here's the script. This is what we want you to say. But it wasn't, let's go off your mind and give me what you got.
I got to ask this since I have you here and you worked for both companies. What was more physical? And now this may seem obvious, but maybe it's not. What was more physical to you? Took a bigger toll on your body? Wrestling the New Japan style for them, or wrestling ECW style? Which took more of a toll on you?
Ooh, I would
I like
say
that
for
question
me,
as a
I would
wrestling
say for me,
Okay.
I would say the biggest toll for me was probably ECW. Took more damage on my body due to the fact of all the wine song women and drugs that was involved in between
I thought it was chair
the
shots.
matches and
It's
shit.
the wine women
chair
and
shots didn't help none. You know, when I'm on the 39th level looking down at myself in the ring. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you know.
Were you partying? Were you partying with New Jack at any point during
we love New
that
Jack
time?
here.
At that given point in time, like I say, you know, New Jack was doing New Jack. Mustafa New Jack was always kind of doing his own thing. You know, he was more of him and Grunge was like, come on, let's get down and dirty. Let's kind of run together. You know, Public Enemy, we're going to fight tonight, but we're going to hang out later. You know what I mean? Like I say, me, it was all about Todd Gordon and the posse.
Yeah.
You know, when the nights went down and the freaks came out at night, wasn't no telling who might be tied down on the floor sprinkled with baby powder, and I dare you to move. All right?
Oh my God! Oh shit!
Oh, hey, listen, I have to ask you about the infamous ECW fan brawl that involved Sonny and Chris Candido, and you and New Jack tended to clean up the mess a little bit, kind of, before it almost became a bigger
kind
mess.
of like about
What happened?
15 us ended up cleaning house eventually. But yeah, what happened was, I guess, Chris had bad a shoulder that week. He was still there at the show. I want to say probably his shoulder was out, if I'm not mistaken. And Tammy was there. They had a little match and stuff, and they was getting ready to leave the show early. Of course, you know, Tammy, you know, she liked to drink, she liked to pill, she liked to do her little thing.
No, really?
And yeah, you know, if you don't know, I can't tell you. You know, I mean, if you don't know, you will never know. But anyways, they was leaving the building, and upstairs, you know, there used to be a little club upstairs and stuff, and a lot of the mob girls and, you know, guys and, you know, people like that used to hang out over there around the club up there. And anyways, and she's walking out of the club one night and shit, and I guess the girls or the guys must have said something. She started talking smack back to them. Next thing you know, they're surrounded by like 3 or 4 girls and like 5, 6 dudes just ready, you know, take her and Chris both out. And
Chris wasn't much of a tough guy, true or false?
Chris was a lot tougher than what people had expected, but he was one of them good, quiet, nice guys. He ain't gonna start no fight. You know, I'm not trying to fight, but if you approach me the wrong way, I'm gonna hold my own.
Well, when
You
Shane
know.
was in here, we were speaking about Chris and that Sonny relationship, and he, you know, said he was very close with Chris. At some point, was Sonny banging all the boys behind Chris's
Yes.
back? And like, do you feel bad for Chris at any point? Or you're
Yes.
like, dude, just
I
break
felt
up
so
with this
I
boy.
felt so bad for him that I was one of the guys who could not fuck her. I wanted to fuck her, but I could not
Oh,
fuck
so you
her
felt bad, like,
because
did she-
I knew
did
everybody
she-
else was
did
fucking
she blow-
because the
did
way
she
that she
blow
was
you,
doing
though?
it. I didn't even have
You
her
didn't even
blow
To be
me.
fair, I think New Jack
You know.
said the same thing regarding
You
Sonny. He's like, I
know.
like her. He's like,
You know,
So
she
wait a minute,
was-
so you know all the boys
You know?
are banging her, and you're like,
I
man,
know-
I feel bad, so I'm just not gonna bang her.
What made me feel bad was was watching her watch Chris work in the ring while motherfucker fucking her from the back. I'm not gonna call no names, Brian Lee. I ain't gonna call no names, Brian Lee. But anyways, I'm just saying. You know, and for me, you know, him being one of the boys, and you know, just being such a great guy.
I need a shower.
You know, it was just unfortunately that in that time in that era, them motherfucking Somas had her by the coochie. I'm sorry, but it had her. You know what I
Don't
mean?
drop the soap when you take that shower.
Oh my God.
Holy shit.
God, poor Candido, dude.
man.
And I love Chris Candido. Big fan of him.
Hell of a worker, great kid,
Right?
nice person.
Right?
He just ran into a freak, and I think she was just too much freak for him, and he just couldn't keep up.
Did you enjoy the porn?
You know, I never seen any of her porn.
You don't need to. You'll
Really?
I never enjoyed any porn. I never.
Right,
We all.
No.
Mess up my prescriptions.
Don't do it.
It's eye poison.
Why? It's eye poisoning. Now you're stealing from the barrel.
I say nothing.
That's how it works. I wanted to ask you, could you compare ECW to WWF and WCW? And did you think at the time that ECW had a chance against the big two?
Me personally, I thought that ECW was something new. It was something fresh. It was something different.
Which it was.
If he would have kept it and not been so greedy and wanted to sell, thinking he's going to get more money for the company, he just could have kept it. And he, right now today, ECW could have been running, giving WWF a run for their money. Instead, sold it. Let me water it down, kill it off, destroy it. Now I can call it mine.
When you
know
finally
what I
get to
mean?
the WWE, are you like, I've made the big time? Like, this is what you thought the career highlight would be?
My thing is coming from New Japan, been around Rick and Scott Steiner. Those were some of the biggest guys, and Ron Simmons themselves, that told me it's an experience that you have to experience for yourself. Everybody does. If you get that opportunity to go to the WWF, you should go. It's a different than working for the love of sport, what I love to do. Now it's suit and tie. Totally different.
Yeah.
Threw me off big time, because now it's like, okay, suit and tie, gotta be on time, you gotta do this, you gotta do that.
First of all, who approaches you to come to the WWE? Is it, bless you.
Excuse me.
Is it Pat Patterson?
No, believe it or not, where is it?
Come
Pat
on
Patterson?
in. Come on in. We'll call you
No,
Flash.
but now that you say that and stuff, I was always wondering, why was Pat Patterson and Jimmy Miranda always standing around the damn shower when I took a shower? I couldn't figure that out.
I hope he does the 450 naked.
What the hell?
Too hot, Scorpio.
This is getting bad, man.
Oh, man. Great ass.
But what I have to say, though,
This is
man.
so nice.
But what I have to say, regardless on what they believe in and what they like, they never crossed the line. They might have took a little peek or whatever. You want to look, you want to hold it, go ahead. But yeah, that's about as far as we go.
Pat Patterson. Check it out.
You say you want to jump rope? Say what? Jump rope?
This ain't your ordinary Twizzler, Pat.
Okay, say no. It's an all-day Twizzler. It's an all-day Twizzler. Okay,
It'll put a smile on your face,
We
Pat.
have Patterson playing jump rope with Scorpio's wiener. What's going on here?
Who approaches you to
Anyway.
join the WWE?
Believe it or not, the same thing happened to me as going into WCW. Working down in Mexico, I'm working over in Japan. Vader leaves Japan, goes to WCW. He's down in WCW. He's talking to Bill Watts. I got this guy, Ron Simmons and Butch Reed. They have the falling out. Butch Reed gets fired. They got the big pay-per-view coming up.
So Ron and Butch Reed have a falling out. So I guess they're
No, they didn't necessarily have a falling out. They had some kind of trouble, whatever, where Butch Reed ended up getting fired. He ended up getting let go right before one of their big pay-per-views. It was supposed to be in the ghetto.
Doom, right?
It was supposed to be Wrestlers Doom, and it was supposed to be in the Ghetto Odds match. So Vader kept telling him, I got this guy. They was going to put Ron Simmons with this enhancement kid, black kid down in WCW. They was going to put him in. Vader was like, no, I got this kid. He's great. Vader showed him a video, showed him working over Japan. Dusty Rhodes, Bill Watts, they loved it. They was all over it. Yeah, we love it. Okay, go for it. blowing my phone up. Finally, I got the call. I went down there. I did the thing in WCW. When Vader had left WCW and went to WWF, it was pretty much the same thing. He got over there. Johnny Ace ended up coming down in there, getting in there. Johnny Ace was already from All Japan, where we had worked over there and stuff. So now he's up there, Johnny Ace over there. Now I get the call from Johnny Ace, Lord, and I was okay, now you can come back up here. Let's do this. The very first call, the very first time I went up there was because Vader went up there to talk to Vince. Vince gave me a call. I talked to Vince personally about going up to sign my contract the very first time as Flash Funk. Nervous as hell.
Thoughts on Vince McMahon?
Want to be one of the boys. Like to hang out. But at the same time, have no problem about firing your ass and letting you know I'm the man with the money. My other thoughts on Vince, the biggest pimp in the business I've ever seen. Ron Simmons had to bring it to my attention. Never would have thought about it. Sit back, I started thinking about it. All of us professional wrestlers ain't nothing but hoes. We get paid to go out and work, to do what we do. When you get all busted up, when you're done, we can't use you no more. We send your ass home. We find some new younger hoes, pay them less money to study your shit and do the same shit that you was doing for half the money that you was doing it for.
Damn!
So now I'm making big bang.
So
It's got to be like, what?
again, do you feel that wrestlers should have formed a union to protect themselves? And I have to be honest with you, with all due respect. You know, you're a little bit different, right? Back in the day when we watched, right? I don't know. We'll call Kamala, for example, right? Obviously, everybody knows the situation and the issues he's had. But, you know, at one point, Kamala was probably working 8 minutes a match. Really wasn't taking many bumps, right?
No.
Fair enough.
That's
Right,
fair.
fair.
He's getting paid decent money. I mean decent money. I have to assume a couple thousand a match, right? Doing that 7 days a week.
Right.
I don't know what the pay scale was at that point, but I'm assuming he made really good money. At what point do you think, I don't know, like, shouldn't you be pimped out in a way?
Should a wrestler be held accountable for the wages they made during the time they made it to budget their own situation?
My thing is that, okay, you want to call us professional wrestlers. Every professional sport has an off season. Professional wrestling is the only season that has no off season. 365 days a year, wrestling's constantly going on. There's no break, there's no time off, there's no time in between. You want us to act like professionals, you want us to dress like professionals, you want us to be professional, but yet you're not paying us like professionals. And if you retire and you get out of here, you got nothing to fall back on. You get hurt in this business, he's not going to take care of you, your family. You better have insurance, and you better be covered yourself.
Right.
Half the boys in the business don't have insurance, can't afford insurance to even cover themselves to be in the business. And now that the way that the business is, it's like something should have been formed years and years ago. It's something that's been talked amongst the boys since the 60s, 70s, and 80s.
And why doesn't it happen? Because the bigger stars say, hey, I want it all, so I don't want to be part of your union.
When you got one of
wouldn't Vince crush
a
it
mouthpiece. When you got a mouthpiece for the boys, guy who speaks up pretty much for all the boys. When you got a mouthpiece that pretty much speaks up for all the boys, and all of a sudden he goes in and he wants to talk for all the boys, and all of a sudden he gets the $500,000 or the $1 million, what do? You shut your fucking mouth.
Right.
And everybody else is left out in the cold.
Right.
That's how you hush that. That's how you hush that and you cut that in.
Let's think,
I don't think you can.
Let's think in the soup. So clearly, I hear what you're saying. Now, let's even push it. Make the soup a little thicker. Is professional wrestling a racist sport?
Me, I have always thought, and I will always believe, wrestling has always been the good old boys business. It has been from way back when, and it probably will until way past gone. We have a lot more men of color in wrestling now than we ever had. Back in the day, it was 1, 2. Bobo Brazil over here. We can't have you all at the same place because you start congregating and forming and coming together as a team. Now everybody wants to come and talk to us, and we can't have that.
Gotcha.
You see what I'm saying? So me, I still believe that wrestling is very much so prejudiced in some sense, but it's gotten a whole lot better in the 90s and 20s, and as we move forward.
So when you were in WCW, who was the booker at the time? Who was your
Bill
booker?
Watts.
So Bill Watts, racist?
Very much so. But Bill Watts was a redneck, prejudiced, racist person that told you up front. I can deal with the prejudiced redneck that tell me up front.
Tell me what Bill Watts
How
would say
did
to
he
you.
tell you?
What-
Bill Watts brought me
I'm
in.
a redneck racist.
Basically, not so much. But he says, hey, how you doing? Bill Watts. Yes, I am prejudiced. I will call you a nigga in a heartbeat.
Really?
This is the first.
This is the first meeting I got with Bill Watts.
Wow, I'm impressed at the.
But
the fact that
you talk to Junkyard Dog.
God, wow.
Go ahead.
I know money and I know how to make money. If you listen to me, kid, I can make a lot of money with you. I met it, and when I came in, he sits there and he says, Bill Watts pulls his boot up, sets his boot on the top of the table, pulls his pants up just enough you can see the 38
Nice.
sticking out the
Oh
boot.
my God! Really?
Now, if that ain't redneckish, I don't know what is.
Yeah.
All right. Now, I'm a little black neckish myself and shit, you know what I'm saying? But damn.
right.
All right, you know.
Did you pull up your boots?
I started to put my pants and show my whip, but I know it ain't
Oh my God! Yeah, Patterson would have.
Michael P.S. Hayes.
Michael P.S. Hayes. I heard a lot of people talk stuff about Michael P.S. Hayes being prejudiced, and, you know, I don't give a damn if somebody is prejudiced. I have to look at the way that you treated me. Michael was always good to me. He was good to me. His nephew, his wife, he brought me over to his house. I done partied with him, you know what I mean? He done gave me tips and trades. He would give me the heads up when there's going to be a drug test. He was the one who put that damn song together, Too Cold Scorpio. That's a guy that's been in the business like, hey, you're a hell of a worker. You're a good worker. I'm not trying to see you get in trouble behind some stupid ass shit.
Right.
You know, my thing is I wasn't into, you know, a whole lot of doing lying shit. Let me go ahead and rock that shit up.
Right.
Tink. And let me go for what I need to go. Michael just straight up just told you, I'm going to tell you right now, that shit right there, that's going to make you shit. That's baby laxative. It's going to get you high. It's going to make you shit. But it ain't going to show up in your piss test.
There you go.
Ah.
Thanks, Michael.
Thank you. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You know what I mean? So for me, you know, Michael, he's always, you know, kind of been on point with me and stuff. You know what I mean? I can't diss him. I can't say nothing wrong. He was the one who put the song together. Basically in WCW, without him making that song, you know, put me on the map.
Sure.
You know, not only with my talent, but the song really helped a lot.
When you got to Vince, you finally get to Vince, and you find out that you're not going to be Too Cold Scorpio. Any thoughts when they said to you, okay, here you go, here's Flash Funk? Because, you know, look, I told you outside, so I'm not making it up. I'm just, you know, I'm not blindsiding you.
Well,
Flash Funk drove me nuts. I'm like, where's Too Cold Scorpio?
I gotta know first. Payday, WCW per week, ECW, and then here comes the WWE.
Yeah, give us all
and they're
three.
like, Flash Funk. What are we talking?
Boom. Boom, boom. Yeah, you know what I mean.
And you're like, I'll be Flash
you
Funk
want to
all
go
day
from
long.
like WCW doing 75,000, you know, 100,000 a year to doing 150, 250, 220 a year. WCW compared to doing weekend shot 500 a night, 600 a night. How many nights are you gonna work? I'm working 3 nights. Okay, that's 1,500. Should be. Okay, but I partied, I drank, I smoked. Okay, you know what I'm saying? And then I got the check, and then I got home, and then the shit bounced in, and I realized that shit, I'm still in the hole. What the hell? You know what I mean? Like shit. You know, last weekend, the only thing good about it was I got to hang out with Todd. Fuck. That was what I look forward to, hanging out with Todd and the posse. What do you got planned for us this week? Who's coming in?
So the pay is great from Vince, but was there any, like, you know, like on the inside thinking to yourself, I don't want to be Flash Funk? Did any of that come through your mind?
To be honest with you, it was more of a challenge. I went into Vince. I sat in, me and the wife, we went. I went into his office. We sat there, we talked. He says, I would like to present you the gimmick. I want you to, like to make you this character. She had some pictures drawn up. And I look at the pictures and shit, that's Rick James. Rick James
That's
got
Rick
the hair,
James,
got the
bitch.
pants, he's got the suits, he got the guitar, the star
Nice.
guitar, the whole 9 yards and shit.
Congratulations.
And that's the first thing came to mind. Is he wants me to be Rick James, basically, because he asked me, can you play an instrument?
No
Can
racism
you do
going
this?
on here.
I was like, no, but I can dance though.
There you go.
I can't sing, but I can dance.
Okay.
I don't play the instrument, but I can dance.
Did Vince actually
And
show
so
you
the-
some moves like
No.
dance?
He
Dance
did. I'm
moves,
surprised he
please.
did. I'm
See,
really
you know,
surprised he
yes,
did.
yes.
I'm really surprised he did, but no.
Yeah.
So he showed me the pictures. I'm kind of flicking through, and I'm kind of looking. I'm like, okay, yeah, I kind of like that. That's kind of cool.
Right.
And I says, he goes, I figure it'll take you about a year, to get the gimmick over. I can probably get the gimmick over in a year. And I says, to be honest with you, Vince, I take it as a challenge. He says, kind of looked at me like, excuse me? I says, I think I can take this gimmick right here that you give me. I says, I don't care if you give me the Flash Funk name. It's Too Cold Scorpio who's in that body. I will take that gimmick and I will get that gimmick over 4 months. He says, never. He says, nobody has ever been able to get a gimmick over here without me pushing them.
Wow.
What? He said, we shook hands on it. I said, I'll take that challenge then. So my whole idea is I bet I can take this gimmick and I can get it over, dance girls and all, in a new place, new atmosphere. And so for me, it was more of a challenge, than anything else. And I think that's why I kind of enjoyed it more because it was like, I got to do this in X amount of time or else it ain't about shit. Vince started liking it, started liking the gimmicks. The gimmicks started getting better, gimmicks started getting better. And shit, I don't know. Scorp started fucking up. Hell, I don't know. Shit.
Did you bang into those fly girls?
No, as
Come on,
much as I
man.
wanted to bang them funkettes, the only reason I didn't is because I was married to a crazy
Come here,
Georgia
you little
peach.
funkette.
I was married to a crazy Georgia peach at that time.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Which who would have smashed them funkettes because she was about 200 damn pounds of damn self. So she would have just smashed them funkettes. But anyways, yeah. So I was like, I wasn't even trying. And I was taking my daughters. I was taking my daughter and my
Are you
stepdaughter
trying
to
to
the
say that your
shows. And,
ex-wife isn't like most girls?
no, my ex-wife will beat the hell out of most girls. Okay,
Holy
that's all I can say. That's all I'm gonna say. She wasn't no little woman. She was a full Georgia peach.
Nice.
I'm talking about full Georgia peach. All right, every bit of a Georgia peach.
We got about 3 minutes, Pharaoh.
Oh, we do?
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Well, okay. Let me at least ask him about at the end of his time with Vince. You requested time off for personal reasons, from what I've read, but you were released instead. Is this true?
I was released, but it was because of my own cognizance. All right, I felt I was getting a little bit too far gone on that Jenny Craig diet. I started missing shows. I started doing it. So when I realized that I had a problem was we did a show in Phoenix. I went out there, we worked there, we got to Phoenix. I went out there to the hood, found somebody with some oatmeal. Next thing you know, I had a rock full of oatmeals. I'm sitting in the room, I'm getting geeked out. I do the show. I'm supposed to get on the flight the next day. I'm so damn high and shit that I can't even get on the flight to go home. I'm going home to Denver, my hometown where I live, having a show. My mom is coming, my grandmother's going to be there, all my cousins, all my family, my stepmama. So I got the whole damn family going to show up. I got everybody in town, everybody out there in Denver. They show up out there to Denver, I'm still in Phoenix. I get a call, where you at? I'm still in Phoenix. I get a call, where you at? 3 days later, I'm still in Phoenix. Shit, 4 days, I'm still in Phoenix. I finally get a flight. I done missed the show in Denver, my home damn town. My mom's calling, my grandmother's calling, everybody's calling, are you okay? You're okay? I got to that point where I done got too damn paranoid, I couldn't even answer the damn phone. So now I got the office calling, I got people calling, and they got to call the front desk to find out if I'm still there. Yeah, he's still here. I ain't checked out yet. I changed my ticket about 5-6 times. Finally, I got on the ticket, went home, called Jim Ross. I was in the middle of like, okay, I got to get my shit together. So I finally went home and shit, high as hell. I packed up my kids, called the ex-wife up. Having hard times. I'm going to have to bring the kids back out to you to Denver. So I loaded up the car, loaded up the kids. My oldest was probably about 11 at the time. I loaded up the car, smoked my way, drove the kids all the way back out to Denver and shit. Got out there, talked to Ross, and he's like, look, I need you to call me on Wednesday. I asked him, told him I need time off. I needed to get some help. I had found out that they had just sent Road Dogg and one of the other guys, X-Pac, to drug rehab, paid for it, still had a job. So I'm thinking, well, damn, at least if I go to drug rehab or get the help, I'll come back out, I'll still have the job. Well, they told me to call him at Wednesday. I'll never forget this. Call me Wednesday, 12 o'clock. I said, yes, sir. I get back into town, I'll call you Wednesday, 12 o'clock. Well, come Tuesday, decide I'm going to head out Tuesday night.
You gotta
start driving the kids back to Denver. So I started driving the kids back to Denver, and that Wednesday roll up. I don't call. I'm on the road. I'm traveling. There's no reason why I shouldn't have called, why I didn't call. I called him Thursday at 12. Called at 12, but a day later. And Jim Ross just strictly says, look, I asked you to call Wednesday. You call Thursday. I'm going to have to let you go.
That was that.
You get yourself clean. You get yourself straight. You're more than welcome to come back for another tryout.
Right.
At that point in time, I just said, fuck it. I'm done.
Right.
Yeah.
I'll just go back to Japan.
If I can get one last question in, because I definitely wanted to ask you this. Do you ever see the WWE Hall of Fame giving the ECW legends who did not do much work in Vince's company their due? People like Sabu, people like the Sandman, people like New Jack, people like yourself. I mean, do you ever see Shane Douglas? Do you ever see Vince putting these guys for their ECW body of work into his Hall of Fame?
No, but if you was on a TV show and you've been on my show one time, I'll put you in the Hall of Fame. Or, but in reality, if you haven't worked for Vince for 4 or more, 3 to 4 years, 5 or more years, you can pretty much forget about it.
Wow.
Well, it's a terrible oversight.
Yeah, regardless on how great some of the talent is that should be in the Great Hall of Fame, but
Eric from ESS, come on in. You want to tell all the fans out there
He's
where
back again.
Too Cold Scorpio is going to be this rest of the weekend?
Two times this week.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Coming to start.
Of course, it's no BS with ESS, and always fun having Too Cold, Flash Funk, Scorpio, and
Too cold.
Too cold.
In town.
cold.
Woo, woo, woo. Okay.
Too cold.
I wouldn't woo you.
Anyway, tonight we are going to be at the Warriors of Wrestling show over at the St. Finbar School in Brooklyn, New York, off Bath Avenue, and Scorpio's in a 3-way match against Darius Carter and Just Neff. So if you're fans of the Warriors of Wrestling promotion, please come out and support us. Chavo Guerrero's going to be there, $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase, Virgil, and a couple other stars along with the stars of Warriors of Wrestling. So please come support the Warriors of Wrestling at St. Finbar's School in Brooklyn, New York. And then Too Cold Scorpio returns to ESS Promotions April 13th. That's 1 week after WrestleMania weekend for the SWF Live brand in Bayville, New Jersey. It's the Mega Slam card, which is the SWF brand's WrestleMania type of show. Tommy Dreamer's on the show, who's facing Gangrel in a Legends match. And Too Cold Scorpio is in an international dream match against the Pro Wrestling After Dark champion Serpentico, and from AAA Mexico, Puma King. So it's
Puma King.
So it's a triple threat match for the Pro Wrestling After Dark championship at part of the trifecta.
What do you mean?
The
No-
trifecta
no,
brands of the
no-
SWF show. Yes.
No Bobby C. Too Cold Scorpio against Simply Splendid Bobby C.
No, I had enough. Listen.
I would love to see Too Cold Scorpio kick the shit out of that.
No, absolutely
And
not.
Pierce at the same
Listen,
time.
They want
50 on both of them.
They want the
Bam.
international dream match. They got an international dream match. Okay,
Yeah, that's what they're getting.
Too Cold Scorpio,
Sweet.
Puma King, AAA, Serpentico he was the Pro Wrestling After Dark champion, and we're doing a
Where's he
triple.
from? Mexico.
Serpentico?
Fuck do I know?
international.
I could have sworn he's from Indiana.
He's from Puma King.
I thought he was from Indiana.
Listen, can you promote this shit the way?
I thought he was from Indiana out of the hood.
Hey,
Got an accent and everything.
I want to be a
Shit
pro
is
wrestler.
saying-
What are we going to call you? Puma King.
Puma King.
Adidas King. There is New Balance.
In this corner,
just
New
don't know how the
Balance.
print is
All right,
red
so-
over
God,
here.
God.
Hello, hey, I'm over here now.
All right.
All right. So,
Ladies and gentlemen, hot mess.
Like you, right?
Hot mess.
No fighting.
No fighting.
We already read the
Excuse me, I'm not done. I'm not done. Anyway,
I'm done.
Too Cold Scorpio is a proud member of the ESS family, and to book Too Cold Scorpio, it's www.esspromotions.com, and you will get you come see Scorpio in your town, and of course it's no BS with ESS. And
How was that pizza, Too Cold? Did you enjoy that pizza?
I ain't gonna complain, man. When you're hungry, anything is good.
All right. Well, it wasn't from Frankie's. I'll tell you
But
that.
that's why it was so much better, huh? I heard about that last Frankie shit.
You don't fucking.
I heard about that shit.
Frankie sucks,
I
right?
heard about that shit. Yeah, you
am I
keep
allowed
that
to say
shit.
something?
Frankie, no, thank you.
No, Frankie.
No, Frankie, no.
He sucks.
I
We got to work on that crust, my friend.
Why do you have to do that when I'm in the room?
I don't know.
You know I like the guy.
Anyway,
God.
I want to thank wrestling legend Too Cold Scorpio for gracing
fucking
us
nutty
with
he
your
is,
presence
but I like
on our
him.
show. We'd love to
I
have
love
you
him.
back. Have a great time tonight. Thank you for everything. Pharaoh, you want to send us out?
You've been watching the special Saturday edition of Monty and the Pharaoh. Until next time, Thursday at 8:05. Later.